body, extra, extra. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, we gon' come and see a body. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, we gon' come and see a body. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, we gon' come and see a body. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, we gon' come and see a body. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra. Flexing ain't discreet body, extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna beef a body, we gon' come and see a body.
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you.
Hey, Melissa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm the only one I can hear, though.
Awesome. Okay.
We gon' come and see a body. Flexing ain't discreet body. Extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna be
Having technical difficulties and live in like 16
Flexing ain't
seconds.
discreet body. Extra, extra read a body. Say you wanna
Everybody
beef
ready?
a body. We gon' come and
Melissa,
see
you
a
ready?
body.
Serena, are we ready?
Flexing ain't discreet
If
body.
not, text Ray, are we
Extra,
ready?
extra read a body. Say
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining Vibra Finance Crypto Chat number 2 live. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest, and he deserves a very special and warm welcome. Without him, none of this would even exist. Please welcome Vibra Finance CEO, Adam. Really excited. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you guys? Good to see you. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so much for coming.
No problem. It's good to be here. Hopefully I can answer some questions you guys have, and looking forward to getting this rolling.
Yeah, let's do this. Melissa, you gave us a brief introduction of yourself last week, but can you tell those of us that are seeing you for the first time who you are and how you got started in crypto? And you're muted, or you're very quiet. I can't tell.
You guys hear us?
I can hear you guys. Melissa said she can't hear you.
Melissa, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I can hear you. Maybe Melissa's watching the YouTube where it's delayed.
Maybe. Hi, Serena. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Thank you.
Sorry that my camera is frozen. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I am so happy just to see your beautiful face. Thank you for showing up. It looks like a really still avatar, so we'll take it.
Okay.
Oh, looks like we lost Melissa. She'll be back, I'm sure.
She's probably at the cabin with limited service.
What's up, Max? How's it going?
Hey, it's going really well. I was hoping I had the times right to jump on, so
perfect.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you. Saw some of his Max G streams earlier with some of the other HEXicans, so we caught the end of his stream, some price predictions. So we'll hope some of that later with a couple coins. So I think Lindsay wanted to start off with some news around the crypto world.
Yeah, news around the crypto world is that Adam joined us on camera today, and I'm so excited about it. So I want to ask you a couple of questions. How did you get started in crypto?
I got started brief, just hearing about it. Being in Las Vegas 5 years ago, it was the buzzword back then. And once you hear something so many times, you just got to look into it. And went down that rabbit hole, and then stumbled into Richard and the HEX community, and then just from there, just onboarding others and doing as much as we can to bring crypto to new people and not lead them down roads that we've traveled and paths that get you wrecked. So we're here to prevent that and hopefully answer questions and just be a resource for you guys to come to.
Yeah, our Discord is a fountain of knowledge and a trusted community. So thank you for putting that together. How did our Discord server come to be? Where did you come up with that idea?
So I was in a server before this with a friend of mine, and we kind of ran like a guys club, and it just wasn't for me. So a couple friends of mine kind of pushed me to do my own thing. I was spending so much time just onboarding people into HEX that it just kind of naturally fit. So just one thing led to another. Lindsay, you were a big influence on, where to go with it. So, I have to credit you and, Erwin and Nathan and Ben, Molly, everyone behind the scenes that was pushing me to start the channel when even I didn't want to do it. And, I'm grateful everyone was there. And, it just pretty much grew from necessity, I guess, and the need to just help people and answer questions and just be honest.
Yeah, it's nice to have a trusted community to come to within a community that you already trust, as a community of HEXicans. It's nice that we can have resources within ourselves and then micro communities within that, so that we can all, that's where the name Vibra came from. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we were just thinking of throwing words around, and just with the earth and vibrations and ether and frequency, Vibra, just someone threw it out there and immediately it was just fitting. And yeah. Cool.
Well, thanks for answering all those questions. I hope got it to you.
No problem.
Serena, how about you? How did you get started in crypto? Where did you come from?
So in 2017, when it was the hype, I just heard Bitcoin, Ethereum, and people were talking about it. So I got in near the end of 2017. So I've been in for a few years, and HEX is the one thing that's amazing. So glad that, I got in time for that.
And you were one of the first, correct me if I'm wrong, someone please, but I believe you're one of the first streamers to start streaming about HEX itself, right?
Yeah. When I made my first video, there was no other videos on HEX on YouTube except Richard Hart talking about it. So I had the first few videos of HEX before other people started making some.
That's awesome. What about watching Richard inspired you to share your experience and knowledge with others on a platform this big?
So just the thought of HEX, and when you understand it, it's just so genius that, how can you not share it? So, and I really believed that it wasn't a scam, even though a lot of people, that's all you heard was HEX was a scam. And I really didn't think so. I did my research, and I don't know if you guys have read Sci-Vive, but I've read it about 4 times. And there's a part that I really like that Richard says, even if you feel retarded, just do it anyway. So even though I was really shy and nervous to make videos, I'm just okay, I'll do it anyway because of that helped me. And I'm glad I did, because I got a lot of people that came into HEX because of those early videos. So
cheers to you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's good. It takes courage to come out and do it. So, just especially back then when all you heard was HEX is a scam. It's all you associated with what you saw, HEX and scam. So that's awesome that you were. I thought Huddle Dog was the first, but You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So Max, what are you doing with your time now that you are no longer working for someone else?
Well, the funny thing is, listening to Serena, I remember watching her videos while I was still at work. So I'm out there, the last job I had was driving a truck in the gold mines in northern Nevada. And I would tune into all of her videos. There was one girl with a ukulele that sang a hex song at the very beginning. And there was hexologists every day when the adoption amplifier would tick over. And I would just be listening to this. And in the beginning, you could listen to 2 or 3 hours of hex streams a day, right? And now we have like 30 or 40 hours a day of streams coming out with all these new people. And it's a lot of it started with being inspired by people like Serena. I remember she was setting out her QR code for the referral link back when you could get a referral bonus in the adoption amplifier. And you guys were putting out
Not
those.
sure what is going on. I can see you guys. I am unmuted.
Yes, you are.
Hey,
You're
Melissa.
live.
Can't hear you. You have volume turned off on me somehow, question mark.
Hold on a second. Let me save a girlfriend here. There you go,
That's
girl.
okay.
Sorry, Max.
Sorry.
That's
Max.
fine.
So go ahead, keep going.
I was just saying that I remember the QR codes and thinking how boss that was of Serena to be dropping off these QR codes at, I believe, ATMs and other places where people would find them. And that was so cool. And I thought it was so awesome she would get on stream and talk when, like I said, it was just Richard and Hexo in the beginning for the most part. And then, Hexo kind of branched off with Discourse Syndicate. And then, RG ran with that. So it's just like this beautiful birth of the community. So that's where I came from. Right now, like I said, I'm trying to teach as many people as I can about Hex and about Pulse Chain and the things coming down the road, because I believe it's going to help a ton of families attain freedom in the next 5 years. Well, I think they'll attain freedom in the next 2 years, and I think they'll get stupid rich in the next 5.
Yeah, I say the same thing too. I tell people, well, if you just stake and give yourself 2 years, if you don't notice a significant difference, then something happened in the economy or something in the world went wrong, because Hex is consistently performing, and it's great. That's awesome that you were doing the QR codes, because we were with Maddie recently, and he's got these stickers that he's doing now, magnetic stickers.
Oh yeah.
And he was giving them out at the tourist stop, and it was really good idea, they catch your eye. They're bright, and you just stick them in so many spots, and it's just eyeballs, and that's every eyeball you can get.
Too bad my camera's not working, because I have one of the cards behind me I could show you guys, but my camera's frozen. So hopefully next time. But yeah, it was fun to go around to the ATMs and convenience stores, and I went back to my old high school and put them in the lockers, and that was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What made you think to go back and put them in your old lockers?
Just, I don't know, I'm like, where can we go that a lot of people will see this? So went back to my school and a few other places, and there's the little slits in the lockers, right? So it's perfect. Just throw it in a bunch of lockers, and hopefully one smart kid will, look it up. But yeah, I think most of my
it's all it takes. I mean, it's catchy, and you look at so many things a certain amount of times before you just have to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just human nature.
I can't remember what I can't remember how many times it is. The last I remember it was 7, but it might be up to 10 now, because we're so desensitized to new things flying at us, and our attention is only focused for so quick.
Mm-hmm.
A billboard gets your attention for less than 3 seconds. That's all you have to grab somebody's attention for advertising. That's nothing.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of putting little stickers everywhere. Like I've been seeing like gas pumps and stuff too. What a really great idea. Subtle marketing, like
Mhm.
so smart. Yeah.
It is. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about something. Did any of you guys see the news about the Bitcoin hack from 2016 that they arrested a couple in New York?
Yes, I
Did
read
you
that
see that?
article.
Did you
Yeah.
see any of the actual videos of their TikTok account?
No, I didn't.
I saw a couple earlier, and it looks almost too good to be true.
I don't think it is on my end though. Question mark.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if you steal, how much was it?
It was 3.6 billion now. I think it was 70 million back then
Yeah.
in 2016, but
Yeah.
it's what 50x I guess since then.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Well, if you steal that much money, you're not exactly a genius if you're on TikTok taking pictures and dancing around yourself like, like, hello, come and get me. Or allegedly. Excuse me, that was alleged.
yeah, Max. Well, if you had hacked Bitfinex for 120,000 bitcoins, would you be on TikTok?
No,
making videos?
I would fake my death. I would fake my death, assume another alias, and get out of the country, right? And then I would be some weird guy on the beach in Portugal selling, Bitcoin off of his phone for whatever their pesos are, right? Until I was like nice and camouflaged, then I'd ball later, but definitely not. I wouldn't be drawing attention to myself.
Right? You wouldn't advertise it. That's crazy.
Right. And even every transaction on the blockchain is viewable. So what are you gonna hide? The whole thing was just so funny.
I have a question about seed phrases. So there was an episode of shout out to Ladies Discourse. Love like when all the ladies can get together and chat and bring more awareness to the community. It's like I love being a part of that. It's so fun. And there was an episode where we were talking about like seed phrases, and there was some confusion in the situation that I was in, where like a seed phrase is something that like you share with somebody.
No,
Never,
absolutely not. You don't even take a picture of it with your phone. You don't say the words out loud around. Just don't say the words out loud at all. Like you have to be very careful with your seed phrase.
So what exactly is a seed phrase?
It's what gives you access to your crypto. So it's pretty much like the password. So if you have like a ledger or a Trezor and you have your 24 words, if you give that to anybody or take a picture, like you're asking for all your funds to just disappear. So
you wouldn't share that with anybody, right? You would keep
No.
it to yourself, like
For sure.
any reasonable password that you don't want anybody else having access to, right?
Yeah,
Right.
like
Well,
you should engrave it on a piece of steel too, just to keep it extra. Like if a fire happens, like you need to keep your things like 100% safe. So
Yeah, I think there is one method that sometimes people would use with family or friends in case of, them going missing or passing away, where you might give a portion of your seed words to one person and a portion to the other. So you don't really have to worry about them taking your money while you're alive. But let's say you pass away or you leave it to someone, then those two people could get together and have enough of the words or have the words together, but not by themselves. That's one thing I've heard about. But other than that, no, you don't want to share your seed words or take pictures of them or make them accessible at all.
That's a great idea. So what if you had somebody's seed words, but you weren't able to access their account on, like, say, Bitstamp? Like, how would they get your crypto through just your seed phrase?
Well, the seed phrases are usually your wallet, like your MetaMask wallet, right? Or your hardware wallet. So they have the seed words on there. But the way that a lot of people are getting their money stolen on exchanges are through things like SIM swaps, where people will get your information forwarded to their phone through one of the cell phone carriers. and that's how people are getting hacked for the most part on the exchanges. But the seed words come from the wallets where you hold your own coins.
Right. Thank you so much for explaining that.
And then most of the exchanges like Coinbase and Bitstamp, you're not going to get a seed phrase. You're just going to get your password and maybe Google two-factor authentication. And a lot of times the standard is text message. So you don't want to even do that. You always want to use the actual two-factor if you're going to do that, because you can just getting a text message with your actual, it's like a 6-digit code. I know people that have been compromised doing that. So just not even using your phone for crypto is pretty much what you want to do in an ideal world.
Yeah,
I would say.
sure.
Yeah.
There's also
go ahead, Selena.
sorry.
Serena.
I was just gonna say there's also a thing you can do on your phone called like SIM lock or port lock or something, but and it's just like an extra level of security. You have to call your like cell phone provider and do that or whatever, but even then it still wouldn't be ideal to have your crypto on your phone, just like you were saying. So yeah, just putting that out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Max. I've heard of people actually buying a separate laptop just for crypto, and that's all they do on there. And then it closed down. As soon as they're done, they shut it off, they put it away. It's nice and safe. That could be an option too.
Yeah, that's ideal to do that if you can.
Yeah, as far as keeping crypto on your phone, I kind of think about like keeping cash in your wallet, right? You wouldn't walk around with thousands and thousands of dollars in cash in your wallet on you because it's at risk. And so if you had $50 to $100 worth of crypto on your phone and that got compromised, stolen, hacked, you're out $50. But you definitely don't want to be walking around with things like 15-year stakes or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of crypto on your phone.
Yeah, if there's apps that you can use like CoinMarketCap, I know Staker app has a view only mode where you can add coins to like it's a tracker, so it just follows the coins, as if you bought and sold, and will keep all your profits, but you don't actually have to keep opening up your exchange or keep opening up MetaMask or whatever you're doing. So that's a good app to use, even though that's a bad word in this community. It is a good app to use for new people that are just trying to keep, instead of going from Coinbase wallet to Atomic wallet to MetaMask and open up all these apps. You just have one place where you can keep everything and see all your stuff. It's easier that way. And it also prevents people from making those mistakes. When you're opening up all these apps, you accidentally hop onto a Wi-Fi you didn't even know, you auto connect somewhere. So just, keeping minimal stuff on your phone that's not read only is, I would say do that.
Ideal, right? So there's tell us about the different kinds of cold storage wallets that are out there.
So I personally use the Ledger Nano X, and so people I know use the Trezor. I personally have not, but I've only heard good things about it. I've never heard any horror stories. We did just order a new wallet called the Engrave, and it was just released a couple months ago. I don't know if you've heard of that, Max, yet.
No, I haven't heard about that one. I've had a few people in my chats and comments recommending a bunch of wallets. I haven't had a time to really do a deep dive into the newer hardware wallets.
Yeah, I've looked at a couple, but this one, we ordered them in the end of 2020, and they had a delay with the fingerprint sensor. It wasn't working. They had to reconfigure the device, but it ended up being about a year and a half. But it is supposed to be like one of the most secure devices in the world. It's totally offline. It's got like 7 layers of security. I mean, I'm looking forward to, we're going to do an opening on that and kind of go through it and see how it is. I know it just has the generic ETH, Bitcoin, and a couple other coins on it now, and they're going to add others. But just having something that's totally offline that you don't have to be on your phone, communicating with, I think that's the way to go, especially when you're starting out with HEX. I mean, 10 years from now, the prices are going to be at numbers you probably couldn't even believe.
Mm.
It's going to seem
Yep.
fake. And to be using stuff now that in 5 years, you have a 15-year stake and someone went back because you did something, 5 years ago. It's going to be awful when HEX is $20-$25, to see that happen.
Mm.
When these things are happening now when HEX is cheap, it can be it's horrible, but it can be a learning experience. It's not too late. But in a couple of years from now, when we're 4 or 5 years in, I mean, there's no turning back at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about your experience with losing crypto?
Oh man, I think I've lost crypto every way possible. From logging on to a bad Wi-Fi in Denver, Colorado. We went out there for a meetup, and I was out there, logged into my MetaMask, and actually was staking HEX, and didn't know that obviously they were using a key logger or keystroke or whatever they are. And I got back home a week later, logged in, and everything was wiped out. And I used
Wow.
Matcha, I think, and I couldn't even find the transactions. And it was a good learning experience for not what to do.
Mm.
And then I also was getting, I wouldn't say I got hacked, but I got greedy and trying to chase pre-sales. And you see these games that are doing 50, 100x, and you get in early. So you lock up a certain amount of money, and then there's a 25% unstaking penalty. So you lock up 10 grand. If you want to get out tomorrow, you're losing 2,500 right off the bat. They don't tell you that up front. So there's these little things that you don't realize that are there. So these profits aren't what you see. It's not, oh yeah, everyone got in for a penny and sold at a dollar. There's so much more that goes on to it. You only get 20% of your allocation, up front, and then 20% for the next 5 months. So 5 months down the road, these coins are tanking. So it was just bad. It was GameZone.io. I'll just throw it out there. I mean, they're launching a bunch of games. They still are. They have like 70,000 Twitter followers, and all the games are complete scams. There's no gameplay. They're literally just little trailers for almost like just digital trailers, basically. They're not even games, no development. And all the coins that were launched last year are down 90%. And they're just straight rug pulls. And I got greedy. I got greedy and thought, wow, all you got to do is lock this up and we get a couple pre-sales. But no, I ended up losing almost 30% of it. So, it was just, stay away from, if it's too good to be true, it is. 37% with HEX, it's amazing. Even telling people that, they don't believe it. So I don't know why I'm out here trying to chase these stupid, 30Xs. It's just, it's bad.
Mm.
Well, in saying that, I mean, it is bad.
I guess it's the degenerate of everyone being in crypto a little bit, but I wasn't doing that at the beginning. It wasn't until I knew kind of what I was doing. I know, Max, you said you were a Bitcoin maximalist at first, and you were in peaks and valleys at the beginning.
Yeah, I was. Well, I started using Bitcoin to gamble with at the very beginning. Back in the day, there was a website called Satoshi's Dice, and you could use your Bitcoin and earn more Bitcoin or lose your Bitcoin. So that's kind of what got me hooked and up. I do that online, and then, but as things went on, I chased all the alts around 2015, 2016, before the last peak in 2017, and I turned a quarter of a Bitcoin, which was at that time $2,500. I turned that into $3.91 by chasing all the alts and thinking I was going to make way more money on all these altcoins, and just having horrible timing. And as Richard Hart says, the two people to get wealthy in crypto are the founders and the hodlers. And I don't have the ambition or brains to found a coin. So that leaves one more option for me, right? HODL.
You have to do what my hat says.
HODL, exactly.
So
And
true.
Serena will back me up as far as chasing gains and getting that adrenaline rush. Back in the day, there was a coin that I'm not going to name or project that promised to pay us in HEX. And so I put a bunch of my HEX in there. And by the time I found out that it was not a good deal, and as you understand, Adam, taking money out through an exchange doesn't always work, because you have to know the slippage, you have to know the liquidity, you have to know what the volume is for that particular coin. And so by the time I realized that it was a bad deal, I ended up losing 5 million HEX back in the beginning.
Wow.
And that was a really painful thing. And like I said, I know Serena knows who I'm talking about too.
Yeah. I stayed away from all that stuff, but yeah.
She's smarter than I am.
I'm not
Much
risking
smarter.
not risking my HEX. Like it's too precious to risk it. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what held you back? Like trusting, that sounds like correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you trusted your gut with that. What made you follow through and like not even pay attention? Like, nope, I got what I've got. I'm not interested. What broke your interest?
So you're asking me or?
Yeah,
Serena.
like did you look at it
Yeah.
and think like, nope, scam, not interested. Hold on to my HEX, or were you like, man, I really want to do that, but I'm scared to lose this?
No, I didn't want to do it at all. I saw other people talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, no, that seems sketchy. And there was quite a few other people that were. I don't want to say it if we're not allowed to mention it here, but just there's a few. You guys know all the different HEX things and and all that stuff. Yeah, I was just like, nope, not interested, not risking it. I mean, if you ever want to risk it with like other coins, sure, but HEX, I'm not. I had no interest. So
She was more mature and intelligent than the rest of us that were chasing shiny objects. That's what it is.
That I agree.
Go
I
for it.
agree.
Heck yeah.
It is, yeah.
Well, like I don't know really what everybody's calling it, so I'll just call it the heart ecosystem. Seems like a really great place. I know that's where we bring our clients in and like have them. Can you walk us through like how you introduce like this ecosystem to our clients?
Yeah, so I typically do one-on-one consulting or Zoom meetings, and it's mostly 80-90% people that already have crypto and either have gotten wrecked or just heard about HEX or see that there's better stuff than they're doing, and they want to just get help. How do I adjust my portfolio and pretty much just get people repositioned, get them out of high risk altcoins and get as much HEX as possible. But everyone's different. You can't just shove HEX down their throat. Like when I came into crypto, I loved Chainlink and XRP. And I swore I was never going to sell one XRP until the day I died. And, a couple months into HEX, I sold 80% of it, because the time was right. But it was hard. It's hard to just to push stuff on people. So working with them and recognizing, I guess, mistakes that I've made and just seeing trends, patterns that work, and also trying to find coins that you can stake. That's huge. If you're going to own a coin that's not HEX, at least find somewhere you can get 6% on that coin. Otherwise, I don't know. It takes some of the risk out of it. And I'm going to stop there.
That was so good. Thank you. Welcome, Melissa. Is your audio working yet?
It is finally. I'm embarrassed to say why it wasn't. So we'll just.
Yay! We'll slow down retrograde. That's okay.
Yeah.
Should we go tell anybody else? Welcome back. Thanks for coming back week 2. And last week you introduced yourself, but can you tell us more about what you're doing in this crypto space? Like what are you working on?
Well, I'm working on, I guess, first and foremost, trying to gain the confidence to be comfortable in front of a screen like this. But
Girl, you got it in the bag. Look at you.
well, so that being said, I want to help bring content to this space for people in my age group. Really, that's really what it is. Because I have a lot of friends and family that want to know about it, but it's just hard to find people that maybe they can relate to, I guess. So I don't know. I just figured I'd get on here and try to start creating some content, I guess, to be helpful. So I've been doing a lot of research and getting a lot of support from you included and just some other people. And one thing that I am going to start, I'm not sure how it's all going to look, but I'm going to do a book club because that's kind of our demographic, likes book clubs, I guess. I don't know. But I'm going to do it just based off of that HEX book that I ordered off of Amazon. It's this one. Have you guys seen it?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do you have it? Hold up. My copy's way over there.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Yay!
This-
I'm just going to do a book club and invite people to do that and somehow make it interactive. I don't know, probably do a live with it or something. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that. We'll post the details in the description after a wrap. We'll get the info from you. But I love the idea of doing something that's relatable to other people like you, whether that be men, women, like in the community, breaking it down and bringing it in at a level where shout out to Lit and Howl Dog today, I listened to it today. I'm sure they recorded it like a week ago. It's like so far behind with crypto stuff. I love catching up on everything. Anyway, they were talking about like doing teaching and the balance between teaching and learning and how it's important to keep that going so that you're always curious and learning, but you're also able to bring others along with us, which is like the whole point of onboard, like the whole basis behind onboarding. And I really love that you're breaking it down and taking it from like one example and using a resource that was already provided like within the community and then sharing that in your own way with others. Kudos to you. Like I said, I'm really proud of you for getting out there and doing that. We're excited to like get you in on the library and get your content heard, break it down and bring people in. You have a warm and welcoming presence. So I know that you'll be an excellent ambassador.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a Facebook group or something, Lindsay was saying that you talk crypto or chat about with?
Yeah, we do. And again, I know that's the other thing is I have not found a very large presence of the HEX community necessarily on Facebook. And I don't love Facebook either. And I'm sure that a lot of people just, again, maybe it's a demographic thing, but I just did the private group because people my age use Facebook a lot more. And so having that private group just to have discussions, it's helpful to get the questions, and then that can help me create content and address the questions and whatever. So I probably will bring the book club into that too. I mean, that's actually a good idea. I didn't think about that, but I could probably bring it into that Facebook group too. But
Good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, or do like give a couple away to them. If they do like a little quiz or something. For some, put a couple questions up, and whoever answers them right, have them do a little bit of looking something up, or how much does HEX pay you per year, or something.
Yeah.
Away.
That's a great idea.
I think too, the other thing that I was trying to not wrestle with, but just trying to figure out, am I going to come at this full on HEX to everybody, or, kind of a lot of people just really want to know about crypto in general, and they don't even know anything about crypto. So it's that balance of not just coming at them with, oh, this is HEX, like I'm trying to sell them something, because I've had a few people ask me, is this like a multi-level marketing thing? Are you getting paid to do this? And it's like, no, not at all. So you know what I mean? So just trying to, but I'll be honest. I mean, just when you start looking at all the other options of coins, and then you learn about HEX and the community and the culture, and it just keeps coming back to this. It's like, I don't even want people to use the other stuff, you know, but I mean, I realize they have to learn kind of the basics, you know, that's whatever. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I've like that relatability and that demographic is on Facebook, and you have a small community there, and you can only grow from there. And that what you're doing is inspiring others to create genuine content and create more network effect, which packs all of our bags at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter how the information is getting computed to everybody. It's like you're being brave, you're stepping up, and you're getting out there and you're sharing it. So thank you for that.
well, thank you.
I still get it too, every day. You know, so what? I don't understand. Is it just a big Ponzi scheme? And you know, I answer it all the time, and you'll get used to it, and you'll end up literally copy and pasting the hex.coms, the scam part there where everything's been over. And you know, it does require, every asset needs new people to come in. Stocks are the same way. If no one else is there to buy your stock, it's really not worth anything. If your screen says it's worth $100, but no one's there to buy it, what's it really worth? So, you know, Max, what are you looking forward to most about Pulse and PulseX? I know you know a lot about more the technical side of things here, about the staking. Do you know if it's going to be staking or is it going to be more delegating? Can you kind of explain the difference?
With the Pulse coin, so the Pulse coin is for the Pulse network, and you would delegate that Pulse coin to the validator of your choice. So basically, you're giving them a vote of confidence that they're going to take care of the network, and in return, they will split some or all of the fees with you that they get for being a validator. So that's one thing you can do with the Pulse coin. Another thing you can do with the Pulse coin is you can provide liquidity on PulseX or the PulseX exchange. So if people are trading HEX against Pulse, you can, provide liquidity equally on both of those coins, and you would get a fee paid to you based on the trading on PulseX, right? The thing that we learned recently about the PulseX coin, which is for the Pulse exchange, is that there, with this new coin that has yet to be named, that will be paid out to the people that can lock or basically stake their PulseX coin. So you can lock up your PulseX coin and get paid in this other incentive token, and so that on top of the fact that the supply of Pulse and PulseX are going down has made people very excited and bullish about those two coins.
So for Pulse Chain, you're going to be able to delegate it to validators. Is there any idea of what percentage? Because there's no way it's going to be what HEX pays, 37%, right? You can't expect it to be something that high.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are hoping for somewhere around 5 or 10% a year return on delegating our Pulse. But the big difference between locking up HEX and delegating Pulse is that when you lock up HEX, you're committing to that time period, right? So if you lock up HEX for 3 years, you're committed to 3 years. But if you delegate your Pulse, there might be an unlock period, like a timer, where you have to wait 24 hours or 72 hours to unlock that Pulse. I heard someone saying there's like a 24-hour clock from the moment you delegated to the moment you could undelegate. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it in this case. So you can undelegate your Pulse. So even though the interest or the APY might be lower on delegating Pulse, it's more flexible because you're not locked in that time period like you are when you stake HEX.
And then if something happens where you see a different validator that's paying a higher yield, you could just pull out of where you're at, and you're not going to pay absurd ETH transaction fees. You're going to be on the Pulse chain, so I'm assuming it's going to be fractions of a penny to do everything.
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
And fast too.
And fast, yeah.
That's exciting.
Have you used the testnet at all?
I've used the testnet to send some Pulse back and forth between, and I've delegated a couple times, but I haven't gone back to check and see what my rewards were. I just looked at that transaction fee, which was like 0.00000 of a Pulse, and I just got so excited, because as Melissa was saying earlier, people are really skeptical when you say, hey, I'm going to help you be rich, because no one in their life before has helped them become rich or wealthy or free, right? And so back in the day, you were able to take 10, 20, 50 bucks of your own money and prove to people that what you were saying was true. A lot of my brothers and sisters, I locked up $50 for them back at the beginning of HEX because I knew they weren't going to listen to me. So I was like, I'm going to let HEX prove itself. And it has. But those days are gone because of the fees. And I'm really excited about the fast and cheap transactions on Pulse, because let's say you do have a club, which is a really awesome idea that Melissa has here. You bring in this club of people, she might be willing to give them each $10 or $20 a Pulse. And it's not going to cost her the price of a new car in transaction fees just to hand that out to them and prove that what she's talking about works, So I mean, that's really powerful when Pulse comes out, the grassroots person-to-person marketing that we'll be able to do because of the cost. So that gets me really excited.
That's a great idea, to give them the Pulse.
Yeah, we did that. We helped sponsor kind of the Albany stop for the HEX tour here. And that was something that we decided we were going to do. So we got donations from a couple of local companies to we got $800 in ETH just to be able to send people HEX. I mean, we just send people, $30 in HEX. It was costing $16, $18. And that was at 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, there was no way around it. So, 20 people, it was almost $350 to send HEX. And when you can do that for those 20 transactions for a penny, we could have had that $800 could have went to actual HEXicans in HEX. And, so yeah, it's going to be great for the little guys. The big whales, they're not going to care, but the little guys that want to stake $200, that want to just try it out, they're going to be able to now. Well,
and in the video that I was talking to you, Lindsay, with Jeff from Crypto Kindness and HEX Orca, they talked about that, about how just the potential, I think I'm remembering this right, the potential of HEX, I don't know if skyrocketing maybe isn't the right word, but really going up because of all the people that are the average people that just want to buy, but they're waiting to buy it until, when PHEX, I guess it's PHEX, right? When it's on Pulse chain. But how that will maybe help the value, because there's so many of us that, I want to buy more, but I just feel like, it gets to be expensive to do that. I don't know if that's a accurate assumption.
It is. We've come up with ways around that. We literally to avoid the ETH fees on MetaMask, because if you're using MetaMask and you're swapping, it's $60, $70 now. Even if they set you up when you go to do a transaction, your gas will be whatever, say 100 will be the speed they want you to do it at. Even if you go to advanced settings and then click low and drop it down to 60 Gwei, the transaction doesn't even go down more than $2 now. So it doesn't even matter if you send it at 100 or 60. You're still paying pretty much the same amount. So I don't know. It seems like every update that comes out, the fees just get higher and higher and higher and higher for everything.
How's that for scalability and sustainability? Like you can only, I mean, well, the exciting thing that we're all getting soon, like a big Christmas gift, is like our copies, right?
Mhm.
So I really like the analogy of, can you explain the car analogy to us?
Yeah, that was, I don't know, it might have been Lit. Shout out to him, who said the best way to look at Hex and Pulse Chain is if tomorrow morning you woke up and your car had the exact same car next to it and had the same tires, same, same scratches, same amount of miles, literally the same car, clone, but it didn't run on gas. Would you ever drive your gas car again? Versus a car that you just drive and it just goes without burning fuel. Why would you ever jump back in that car again? And that really stuck with me when I heard that.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but if you're locking up your Hex for say 15 years, you're more than likely going to have 5 or 6 cars by the time that stake comes out, because people are going to continue to fork Ethereum. And if they see the success that Richard Hart has by bringing the entire system state or all the free coins with him, then I think that other networks are going to copy that model as well. And I really don't think that Ethereum is going to be able to pull off 2.0 without forking either. So you're going to have yet another copy of your stakes on the other Ethereum and so on and so forth.
Yep. And also with Hedron coming up too, that's a whole nother ball game. That for anyone that doesn't know, it's a new project that's going to be minting on, or not minting, but launching on Ethereum at the end of the PulseX sacrifice. And they're basically going to allow you to wrap your stakes and sell them as NFTs. You're going to be able to take loans out against your Hedron. Max, you know a little bit more about it than I do. I haven't been able to sit down and watch Alex's videos all the way through yet, but it looks really cool what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I was actually flying one day, and so I just downloaded like 6 or 7 interviews with Alex from different people. I would recommend the one with Crypto Coffee #1, because they cover everything in a really easy to understand order. And Crypto Coffee is just a gangster when it comes to breaking stuff down. He's awesome. And then I would also recommend the one from Rags to Riches, because he had a really good interview with Alex. Basically, if you think about derivatives, you have derivatives and dividends in the stock market for owning certain shares of Apple or Amazon or whatever's paying, right? And so people will basically, you're going to be given a derivative of your shares, which Hedron is a derivative of your B shares. So if you have a B share, you get a Hedron for every day that you serve holding that B share, right? And then on top of that, you're going to be able to use their platform to stake Hex and wrap it in an NFT. And that would make your stake transferable, because you haven't unwrapped it and seen the seed words, right? So for instance, if you guys tried selling me your stakes, I would, even though I like you guys, I would know that there's that security risk of, you guys already know the seed words, right? You guys already have the private key to that MetaMask wallet or wherever that stake is held. So if I were to buy that from you, it's already compromised. This keeps it from being compromised and allows it to be traded like a stock option. There's a lot of people that will buy an option in the stock market and wait till it becomes more valuable and resell it. So there's going to open a whole new market of people. And if you can cash some of your money out of a 555 stake, you can, why wouldn't all of your stakes be 5555, right? So it'll most likely increase the 5555 stakes, because now if people have an emergency and need to get money out of that, they can sell it on the market. So there's, I mean, and then there's a lending, there's a lot to this, but those are some of the basic ideas. And the thing I like a lot about Alex is he is a HEX OG that simply said, hey, I want the option to do more with my stakes. And so that's where he started coding this. And I every time I hear more about it, it's pretty awesome. And who doesn't like free coins, right? You're getting Hedron. Well, right now you'll be getting Hedron for the price of the Ethereum fee to claim it. But other than that, if you get thousands or hundreds of thousands of coins for an Ethereum fee, why not just sit on those coins for 2 or 3 years and see what comes of them, right?
Yeah, and also take advantage of people that don't understand how liquidations work, and they take a loan out, and then all of a sudden there's going to be, I guess, NFT T shares or NFT B shares available for sale, so we could just use our coins we minted for free and just scoop those up for people that didn't know what they were doing or unfortunately just got liquidated.
Yeah, as I understand it, you're supposed to make monthly payments if you were to, because you can borrow the Hedron from the future of the stake that you haven't served yet. So let's say you served 1 year out of a 15-year stake, you can borrow the other 14 years on their platform, and you're supposed to make these monthly payments. And after 90 days delinquency, anyone can call and basically put that stake into auction. So people will bid for this, the ownership of this stake, because again, it hasn't been compromised, so it still has its seed words or its private key intact. So you can go on there and bid. I mean, if I saw a 5555 stake for sale today that had already aged 2 years, and I could get those T shares for a great deal, then we're obviously going to be competing for that, right? So that's beautiful. And the coins that are used to win that auction are burnt and destroyed, and that brings the supply of the Hedron down. So that may also pump the price of the Hedron coin.
Yeah, I just saw a question here. Is there any risk for minting Hedron? There is not. Your seed phrases are not at risk, I believe, at all. All I believe you're doing is just signing a transaction that just acknowledges that these are your stakes, and then from there, I guess you go on to mint. Is that correct, Max? What do you believe?
Yeah. If you're familiar with the free claim that we had, you could free claim HEX if you own Bitcoin back in the day. And a lot of people were claiming, oh, you're going to lose your Bitcoin, you're going to compromise your wallet. But all you were doing was signing a transaction proving that you had possession of those private keys, right? It's almost like when people say, why doesn't Satoshi prove that he's Satoshi? All he has to do is sign a signature or move some coins. Basically, you're just signing a signature, which does cost Ethereum gas fee, but you're not giving Hedron or anyone permission to do anything to your wallet. So
so there is no risk at all to doing that. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for explaining it.
And they're also, I believe, if you mint within the first 10 days, there's a 10x bonus too on top of it. So for us that have T shares and we've served, a year in the system, I mean, you're looking at 1,000, T shares, 1,000 B shares. So 1,000 times, 365 times 10. I mean, you're looking at some big numbers.
Yeah, I believe that's going to happen on February 27th is the date that's scheduled for. So I believe you have like a few days or 10 days, and then the bonus goes down every day for 10 days or 100 days. But basically, it's retroactive. So it goes back the days you've already served. You can claim a 10x bonus there, and it also is going forward in that wallet of a 10x bonus of future ones. And There's something else I was going to add here to that. It's gone. So maybe I'll remember it in a second.
Yeah, no worries. So I was going to ask you, when people come in and they stake on Hedron, are they going to be? Is it going to actually be HEX they're staking, or are they going to be staking Hedron?
Yeah, let me address the thing I just remembered. So there are two functions in Hedron. You can claim your Hedron and you can mint your Hedron. It's kind of like running the good accounting function with HEX, where you're ending the stake, but you're not minting the coins yet. And then there's the mint function where you are minting the coins. So claiming the coins is a non-taxable event because you're not taking possession of them yet. You're just claiming the right to take possession. When you mint, then that would technically be a taxable event because you would be taking possession of those coins when you mint them. That was the one thing I wanted to add. The second question was, you are basically doing the exact same thing you do on go.hex.com. You are staking HEX, but you're doing it through their platform, and their platform is the one that's wrapping it. So you're still staking HEX just like you do on go.hex.com, but you're doing it on their platform, so it gets wrapped in the NFT and makes it transferable and loanable. Like you can lend and borrow and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that'll be done in Hedron, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The loans.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for explaining that to us.
You bet. You bet.
I think it's such a good idea, and if it works, it's going to bring a lot more. I think a lot more development to Pulse and a lot more eyes. I mean, I've been hearing little things about, are we going to be able to wrap our stakes? Are we going to be able to encapsulate our stakes? And now, I mean, look here, it's coming. And I think this is just the beginning for so much that's going to surprise us.
Well, we've actually seen a couple of instances where people's wallets were hacked, and the hacker didn't understand the T-shares or the stakes because they didn't see them in the MetaMask wallet because they're not liquid, right? So people have broken into people's MetaMask wallets, stolen the Ethereum, and stolen the liquid HEX, and didn't know that there were stakes sitting there. So if you were able to transfer these from a security standpoint, if someone hacked into your wallet, you may have the ability to move your stakes out of the wallet in the future and protect them. So that's another feature that we don't have right now. Your stakes are married to that wallet.
Yeah, that's a really big benefit. That's something, if you get hacked, I mean, that's something that's going to be hanging over your head until that end stake button comes due. Well, I guess if you did get hacked, in theory, you could end stake it and try to beat that. But I guess you're playing a dangerous game at that point.
So keep your seed phrases private. Don't show them to anybody. Store your stuff not on your computer. Store your stuff on a computer, not on your phone. These are valuable things that we've learned this evening.
Yeah, and this is also a shout out to hanging out with HEXicans, right? I had no interest in Hedron. I saw it popping up in Twitter and this and that, but I just ignored it with tunnel vision, like you do a lot of stuff that you see on Twitter that just gets thrown up all over the place. And I thought, all right, well, maybe I'll learn about it later. But I ran into a HEXican in person in Las Vegas, and he was crazy about Hedron. He had already gone down the rabbit hole, and his excitement and the fact that I knew he was already a HEXican that had these stakes and wanted HEX to succeed, that gave me the incentive to go down the rabbit hole myself and investigate Hedron. And I'm really glad I did. So hang out with HEXicans because they're amazing sources of information.
Absolutely. That was my first introduction to like HEX on a large scale and a lot at once. That I'd already we talked about it, and I knew that there was value to it. I just didn't really know and understand what it was, how it worked. I'm still learning so much about it because it is really complex, but at the same time, this community is so rich with resources. You can look everywhere and find something to follow, someone to connect to. Going out and meeting people face to face was huge for us. We got to hang out with, well, I'll let you tell it better than I do.
We just meeting just HEXicans. I mean, everyone's unique and everyone has something to bring or something to contribute. And it's so unique to this community. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, truly, I mean, people do ask, I mean, why do people give their time like this? And why, I mean, what's in it for you? And it's really, I mean, other people took the time out of their day to help. I mean, they did for me. So I feel like, you know, why not? If someone does it for you, I mean, you should, why not do it for the next person? And I feel like that's kind of the overall feel for the community and just the tone for the community.
Yeah, it's really fun getting to go and meet everybody like on a large scale. In Vegas was so fun. If you're shy and you don't think that you have like found your spot in the community, or you like want to get out and meet somebody new and have a commonality, that is a whole conference just for us as a community. Come out and get together, and there's somebody else that shares ideals and like goal, like similar things that you do, because you've already come together in a commonality of like HEX itself to get your tickets.
Yeah, we'll be going to Vegas. Serena, you going to be there?
I wish. I'm stuck in Canada, so can't go anywhere right now.
What part of Canada? Or do you eastern or
Like the whole
western?
northern part.
More like central, I guess. Yeah, central, eastern, kind of.
Yeah, we're probably not too far from you, up in upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
Can people get into Canada or just not get out right now?
I think you can get in. I'm not too sure. I'm a second-class citizen, so it's like, yeah, can't really do anything right now.
I threw out a poll on Twitter earlier, and one of the things I asked was, what is like, I don't know, like what does wealth mean to you? And a lot of people said freedom. So I mean, we're already like, there's already established history of HEX coming to fruition and being true to its word. So for those that haven't experienced that, like trusting that there are people like you guys out here that have no dog in this fight. You don't work for HEX and you're not here to promote it. Knowing that you have people that are willing to speak with it with like conviction and truth behind them, that's a valuable thing that keeps a community alive, which keeps a product alive. So cheers to everybody out there that's spreading the word and doing the work.
There's so a lot. There's so many new people. I mean, we're trying it. I mean, everywhere you look. I mean, we got NFL players. We got boxers now. We're going to be in the Daytona 500. And for anybody that hasn't heard yet, HEX is going to have a car qualifying for the Daytona 500. And I mean, who knows how many eyeballs that's going to bring. And we're doing things this year that a year ago, when we were in Vegas, we could have only dreamed of, I think. I don't think anybody would have saw all of this where we are right now a year ago. I mean, so much has happened, and to think how much more to come and how early we are. I mean, it's going to be an awesome ride.
Well, not only that, but the viral effect that HEX has on your portfolio, right? I mean, we were talking earlier how you put HEX in your portfolio and it's a virus. Like it takes over your portfolio, right? So like Serena, I'm sure definitely knows, if you put 2% of someone's portfolio into HEX, and a year later, it's probably not 2% anymore, right?
Yeah,
It's
definitely not.
probably 97, 98% of their portfolio in just a year. And these the celebrities and the richer people, more wealthy people that have gotten into HEX, they take note of this, and they're going to share that information with their friends. They're going to say, look at what HEX has done, or in the future Pulse and these other coins, they're going to be talking about and promoting these things that have taken over their portfolio in a good way, like a virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
there's no bad taste or no, besides the dead bodies Richard's left behind him. I mean, people aren't getting scammed. I mean, people aren't getting taken for money. I mean, you only hear positive things, and I think it goes a long way.
Yeah, it's definitely changed now. Like the outlook people have towards HEX, it was way different in the beginning, and within 2 years, it's really shifted the other way. So it's really cool to see that.
It is a lot less having to defend ourselves, defend it,
Yeah.
and just like beating the dead horse over and
Mhm.
over again.
What do
Exactly.
you guys think about the debate coming up between Richard Hart and Peter Schiff?
When this is the first I'm hearing about it. We were driving today for a while.
Yeah, it says it's supposed to go down on February 23rd between Richard Hart and Peter Schiff, who, Peter Schiff, he's a prideful guy. He's not one to like change his tune or go back on his word. So it may be quite an interesting debate. Get your popcorn ready is what I would say. But
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
there's a lot of gold bugs that might accidentally learn something, right?
Mhm.
Right. I mean, inflation is destroying gold right now. You can't deny it. I mean, what's gold gone up in the last 10 years?
I think gold did a 2x in the last 40 years, according to Richard. Like,
We're 2.5% a year. So inflation was 7% if we're lucky. So yeah, you're getting destroyed, flat out. So that's going to be really good to watch.
Mhm. Especially when HEX is like the only thing that's really protecting you from inflation. So, and you were saying 7%, but I heard that it was closer to actually 9% or something. So
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure.
it's
I mean,
like,
when they when they
insanity.
report 7, it's really probably 15, 20.
Yeah.
right. I think there used to be a website called the CP Lie. So there's a CPI, which is a consumer something index, and someone did a a play on words, call it the CP Lie, and they would report the actual inflation price on things that people buy every day, like food, gas, energy, rent,
That's cool.
and it would show the actual inflation rate, which is incredible right now.
Yeah, though they're extremely wrong. I mean, I think they whack off the highest, most inflated items and the items that haven't really moved, and they don't count them, and they just take the middle of stuff that hasn't really moved much. So it's not a real number. It's
Yeah,
so skewed.
they used to have steak or beef on there, and then they replaced it with chicken because it was making them look bad. And now I think they've removed a lot of meat and things, claiming that people are vegan and healthy and they don't even eat chicken anymore, which is just absurd. I mean, when's the last time you went and treated yourself to a candy bar? And the candy bar is like a quarter of the size it used to be when you were a kid, and it's
Mhm.
cost 5 times more, right?
Cereal. That was the first thing I ever noticed it was with a box of cereal. I was like, what where'd the rest of it go?
Yeah. It's crazy. My mom used to tell me stories like when she was a kid, her parents would give her $1 and she'd go to the candy store and get like a whole crap load of candy. And now it's like you can't, like you guys were saying, for $1, you can't even get a chocolate bar. So it's insane.
Even gum. I don't think you can get a
Yeah.
pack of gum for less than $1.19, $1.29.
Yeah.
And without doxing Melissa at all, I mean, it says crypto from the cabin, right? Like, I'm guessing that you've had the cabin for a while. I'm guessing this isn't a new purchase, right?
Actually, we just bought it in September.
No way.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So how much do you think that cabin's gone up in the last 5 years? And you're probably not even close to California like we are.
No, the cabin's in Wisconsin, and I think I would say in 2 years, probably, well, the guy we bought it for, I think 2 years previous to us buying it, I think it was 50% less when he was going to try to sell it 2 years ago, and we paid 50% more for it. So that was fun to find out.
Yeah. We, my wife and I just ordered something that's going to take 6 months to get here, and we had a sign on the paper that we wouldn't hold them to the price that we were buying it for. So we signed this paper that says, if this item doesn't show up by March, which it definitely won't, then expect a 5% or greater price when it shows up in 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just everywhere you go, it's just insane. The not only the inflation, but the supply chain problems. We have a guy here, a neighbor of mine does HVAC, and they can't get the flex tube that they run inside of your ceilings and stuff to run the furnace, right? The ducts, they can't get it. So he's beside himself. He's like, how do I put in a furnace without the flex tubes that we've been using for the last 20 years? So
Yeah, and that until that hit, I mean, that's something, we talk about, and but when that really hits, when people are out of heat, then I mean that's when things really start to escalate. I mean, I really hope it doesn't get there.
yeah, you got Mobius in the chat saying his distributor cap for his old truck is up $10 from 3 years ago. So parts, anything like that, it's just gone insane.
Yeah, I mean, you even use cars. I mean, they're non-existent. If you just go look at try to find, like, you always used to be able to find a Honda Accord or a Civic or something with 125,000 miles on it. That would just get you by and running. That they don't exist anymore. Cars like that, the just every day get you by cars, they're gone. And it's I don't know how it happened, but it's here.
Yeah, it's crushing small businesses. I mean, how many small businesses have had to close their doors because of supplies issues? I know, for like personally speaking, I had to close doors on a skincare company because one of the largest POs that we had in months since the start of COVID came through and ended up going bankrupt and left us with like no way of recouping supplies. And then because of COVID, now all of a sudden our distributors won't allow returns on products. Like, the imbalance was crazy for us, like the cost and effect of not just like COVID, but or like the pandemic itself, but with like getting supplies into the country itself, the tariff increased up to 10%. It crushed getting glass bottles in for us. The price went from whatever, let's just say it was 30 cents a bottle to 80 cents a bottle because all the glass is being manufactured for something else. These problems create like chain of, like a snowball effect, and then ultimately the consumer's affected. What used to be a 99-cent bottle of hand sanitizer, I was seeing hand sanitizers same size, same quality, or less quality for $7 or $8, just because it was something that was deemed like a necessity at the time. That's scary how that it gets up and runs.
Yeah, well, and all of this is based on a mentality of scarcity, right? There's only so much money to go around. There's only so much food and energy to go around. And if you're close to the power structure, if you're close to the banks and what they call the Cantillon effect, then you're great because you can print as much money as you want. You get cheap money, you get free money. In some cases, you get paid to take money off the bank's hands and lend it at interest, right? And so the first with the staking coins that Adam was referring to, for the first time, we get to be the Federal Reserve. We get to be in control of the monetary policy in these cryptos. And we get to switch the script to a mentality of abundance, right? we can outrun the inflation. We can outrun and have something that has more value than people realize yet. So we're early, we're here, we get to see this thing appreciate and grow, and more exciting than the exponential growth in money. I'm here for the exponential growth in community and talent and people, like just like when Hex was a 10,000th of a penny and we had a handful of awesome streamers like Serena here, and then you
Thanks.
see that, you're welcome, you see that exponential curve, right? And so every week I'm seeing a brand new Hex or Pulse streamer that knocks my socks off. And I just, to me, it's beautiful to see this exponential growth of freedom, right?
Yeah.
Of quality of life, of choices, and helping people. And it takes a lot of work, like Melissa's doing, to convince them, no, I'm not here to sign you up for Amway. No, I'm not selling you life insurance. I really want to see you achieve. I really want to see you get what you want. I want to see you achieve your goals. I want to see your life improve, because if your life improves, most human beings are going to go about and improve the lives of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%. I totally agree. And it's almost like you're totally right. An abundance mindset. It's like there is enough for everybody to go around. Like you know, you don't need to, you know, it's not all about needing everything. And once you realize, you know, everything's there, you're not chasing going so hard. You can sit back and just relax. You start looking at life differently. You know, all of a sudden the things you thought these material things you thought you needed, they don't really matter. And it's almost, you know, it really is a mindset wealth.
Yeah.
You know, you know, of course, money, it brings you time, and time is freedom, but you can't do without it. But I mean, I'm just so excited for what's to come. And we're like piggybacking what you were saying earlier, with everything probably going to be forks of Ethereum moving forward. I mean, look at all the forks of Uniswap that have been successful in the last 2 years. But we're the first real fork of Ethereum. I mean, I have to think that the utility of them, and just the deflationary nature of them, are going to be unlike anything we've ever seen.
yeah, Richard Hart says crypto is the only place where there really is such thing as free money, right? Like Serena, how many Hex would you have right now if you had held the original Hex and all of its forks? I'm sorry, the original Bitcoin. So if you held the original Bitcoin from 11 years ago, how many Bitcoin would you hold right now?
I don't know. How many Bitcoin would I have if I didn't convert it all to Hex? You mean?
How many airdrops of forks of Bitcoin would you own right now if you just held Bitcoin in the beginning and you got all the airdrops?
I wasn't in early enough to get all the airdrops, but yeah.
I don't know either. No, I think it's somewhere around 12, just off the top of my head. 12 Bitcoins or versions of Bitcoin you would own right now.
Bitcoin
by
Cash.
just holding on to Bitcoin and doing nothing.
Yeah, Richard said before, like in many of his streams, like you could have gotten XRP and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and a bunch of stuff just for holding it. But
yeah, Litecoin.
Yeah.
All those. And they just pile up. It really is such a thing as free money.
Yeah.
So
just the Uniswap. Oh, sorry.
No, go please.
I was just gonna say, like, you guys are saying the Uniswap was like an airdrop and stuff. Just all the HEXicans who got that was amazing. So, and that's only from one airdrop. So if you were lucky enough and had like multiple addresses and got the airdrop to all of those, it's crazy how much free money really is in crypto.
The 1-inch airdrop was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
The Ample Fourth, that was huge. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, if you bought $20 of that coin, you got $5,000.
Well, you guys remember I started all my brothers and sisters with $50. They all got, because I walked them through Uniswap, they all got the Uniswap airdrop. So that was a $2,000 airdrop from a $50 investment, and just walking them through a protocol, right? And because they weren't expecting it, they were more than happy to convert it to HEX and lock it up. So they're really, really happy with that. One of my siblings forgot to do that. So he, ended up with 5,000 or more later. But as soon as we found out he had it, I'm like, lock that up. Like, get some t-shirts, buddy, because those t-shirts are going away. They're not, unless you're like a billionaire in the future, there's no way you're going to be able to get a t-shirt.
That's awesome.
I was shocked that the rate was like 20,650 or something like that. I mean, it's crazy how much the price of HEX has to catch up with the t-shirt rate at some point. I mean, watching enough of Wales' videos, I mean, that price has to drag the HEX price up with it at some point. It's inevitable.
Yeah,
Bullish,
for
for sure.
Well, and I mean, it was 10,000 HEX to get a t-shirt day one, right? And now it's almost 21,000 2 years later. I mean, I think that's going to go exponential as well. People think it's linear, and it's only linear because very few people know about HEX and are locking it and unlocking it. But as soon as this thing goes viral, the t-shirt price in HEX is going to go viral too.
Yeah. It's going to skyrocket.
Yeah. So if it follows this trend, in 2 years or less, we'll be sitting at 30,000 HEX for one t-shirt. Now, think about it. If it's 30,000 HEX for one t-shirt and you max out the longer pays better bonus, then really you're getting t-shirts for 10,000 HEX, which is the same price you got day one just 4 years earlier. Like, that's how quickly you maxing out the bonus just puts you back at day one. It doesn't even give you an advantage. And it's so sneaky, and like, it just creeps up every single day. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't. Like, they'll check it in a year or two when their state comes out and go, where did all my t-shirts go? And it'll be the age of the B shares.
Yep.
The age of the B shares.
Yeah, it really is. So how long do you think HEX can stay without making a new all-time high? Matt, what do you guys think?
Well, there was the Easter egg from Richard saying HEX has never gone 6 months without making an all-time high.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say stuff like that willy-nilly. He's what we call a sharp cookie. And so when he says little hints, and I think he dropped it 2 or 3 times in that interview, right? And we're 4 or 6 weeks away from that 6-month mark, because that was in the middle of September. Around the middle of September, we hit 54 cents, right?
Yeah, so 5 weeks or so. Yeah.
And the last time we had a sacrifice phase end, we went from 22 cents up to that high of 54 cents, right? And what's going to happen at the end of this month? We're going to finish another sacrifice phase. So the rubber band is getting stretched really, really hard right now at the prices we're at. Like, there's a lot of pressure on that rubber band ready to snap right up.
I like that analogy.
Thanks.
What do you think ETH do you think HEX will do better if ETH starts to level out and flatten off, or if ETH starts pumping?
If fees drop, then obviously it's going to help out HEX a lot. You can see on the chart, you can see on the price chart, every time that the fees got too much, you could see the price of HEX suffer. Because, like I said, we can't get all of our friends and neighbors into HEX for $50 or $100 or whatever they're comfortable risking learning this new technology, right? And so now we're just sitting around with our hands in their pockets waiting for whales to do what they want with the price. And right now we've seen we've seen some people sell, but we've seen a lot of whales push the price down for the sacrifice phase, just like they did in September, right? Or in August.
So you guys are seeing history repeat itself?
Definitely. And another thing we've seen in history is the spike and the crash right before big payday. So everyone was trying to beat each other out the doors with their spiked money. Even though they were going to get free coins later, they didn't care. They were thinking in the short term. So you had the spike and crash before big payday. You had the spike and the crash before Pulse sacrifice. We had a spike and a crash right before Pulse X sacrifice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so even though people are going to get free coins and double their ERC20s when Pulse comes, I'm expecting a spike and a crash right before everyone gets all their free coins. So that might be a good time to, sell a kidney or a child, like your least favorite child. Not all of your children, just the one that gives you the most lip. Get some dry powder going on the sideline, because you could be going shopping right there around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent advice. Thanks for that. Savvy and savage too. Guys, I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight and chatting crypto with us. There's always so much more to cover, but we only have so much time. And I appreciate every single one of you for being here. And I hope that you'll come back and hang out with us sometime. Thank you, Adam, for coming on and
You're welcome.
Joining us on your own channel. That was pretty special of you. We appreciate it. Hex Revision, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please tune into his channel. He's got lots of great content, good things to say. You stream what nights?
I try to do a Zoom meeting with new people Monday night, and then I post that replay on YouTube later. Like I just got around to reposting this last Monday's nights.
Okay.
And then on Sunday, we have our tech talk where all the nerds get their, pocket protectors out, and we just talk about code and validating, and I don't know what the heck they're talking about. I'm asking questions for the normal person. I'm like, what does that mean in English? What does that mean for the code? What does that mean for price? So Tech Talks has just been really awesome Sunday afternoons. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be I was invited on Cabana Crypto, which was a huge honor. So come watch me make a complete fool of myself with the trivia. I will be out in the first round, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, we have faith in you. We have faith in you.
Check that out. And I want to say thanks so much for inviting me on here. It's great talking with you guys. And it's great being with Melissa and Serena. I love you guys. So thank you very much.
No, gosh, please drop your links in the comments below, and then I'll make sure to put the backlinks in the description too. Okay. So you can come watch you on Cabana Crypto and crush it, because you know you can do it. Serena, thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing everything that you have with us. You're such a valued member of this community, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Please come back. I'm like, please come back.
I will for sure.
I'll make tea next time.
I think I'm going to make some stickers or something before Vegas now.
That'd be fun.
I think that's, seeing Maddie's, it's some QR codes or little scanners with a hex magnet. I like it.
Yeah, anybody knows a good HEXican resource? I'd love to. We love to support local. So come farmers stands, HEXicans that make stickers. Hit us up, please. Melissa, thank you so much for coming on tonight again. I am so excited to get the ball rolling with you, doing some intro to crypto. Listening to your book club is inspiring, and I can't wait to see what you run and do with that. So when you get the opportunity to, please give us your link for your Facebook group and we can get you started.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your patience getting me on here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I don't know what was going on tonight, but I'll just blame it on retrograde forever. Difficulties. But thank you guys so much for coming on, and we're going to wrap up for the night. I'm going to end the broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. This Saturday, I'm terrible with dates right now. It's the 12th. Adam is going to be streaming with Hex Machina, doing some crypto news. And what else? Tell us about it.
Yeah, we should be doing some news, talking about a couple other opportunities that we kind of got into outside of Hex, and kind of trying to bridge the gap and kind of shine light on some opportunities for HEXicans that might want to play around a little bit, and also bring those people into the HEX community and kind of, you know, get some new bridges going and open up some new doors in the new communities. So we're really looking to, that'll be the goal.
Yep, looking forward to Vegas. Hope to see everybody there. Make sure you get your tickets. PulseCon's coming up in September. Get your tickets for PulseCon. It's going to be insane. You can already tell.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in Vegas and everyone else that can make it. Vegas is an awesome place, and it's even more awesome with HEXicans going nuts there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, all 1,300 or so this time too.
Yeah. We're doing all the fun things. All right, guys. We'll
All
see you
right.
soon. Thanks for
guys.
tuning in.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.